Dude, look, cybernetic enhancements.
No, those are your 3D glasses.
No. Enhance.
Come on, seriously. It's just
When'd you get nipple rings, bro?
okay. That's enough. Let's go.
This is Major. I'm on site. I'm going in.
You are the first of your kind, but you're not invulnerable.
Maybe next time you can design me better.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Initial Reaction. I'm Philip.
I'm Charles.
And this week we are talking about Ghost in the Shell, stars Scarlett Johansson. And I didn't really have any idea or expectation going into this movie. What about you? Did you?
Yeah, so I watched the movie and that's about it. I didn't read the manga, or I didn't watch the series or anything like that. But it is about Scarlett Johansson plays a character named Major, who is all robotic except for her brain. She was saved, and she is in this robotic body and tries to learn about her past. And while working for a robotics company that fights terrorism and bad guys and stuff like that, while trying to figure out who the real bad guys are versus her mysterious past and stuff like that.
Yeah, I was kind of curious as to like how it compared to the book and the animated movie.
Some of those shots, the clip they released this week with the kind of not a trailer really, but it's one of those, how
just a little.
some companies are doing this now, or some studios are doing like, we'll give you a 4-minute solid clip that you're going to see in the movie, and then put a little tag at the end.
Yeah.
And so that one, the scene in the rain, fighting, was almost shot for shot. Like,
okay.
Some of that stuff is very shot for shot remakes of the 94, 95 anime.
Because this is very much an origin story for Scarlett Johansson's character, for Major, and it's aside, like, again, I didn't really know what the story was, what the premise, like how engaging it would be, and kind of what all this was about going in. So I didn't have a whole lot of expectations, but you heard a lot about this movie because of the whole whitewashing thing and all that. And so that aside, that really didn't factor into the point that I kind of because I liked the movie.
At this point, like, that's been cast. We're going to just judge this movie on its merit.
Yeah.
So it's hard.
Well, because the fact of the matter is you're not going to get this big budget sci-fi action flick if you don't have someone like Scarlett Johansson in the lead role.
And
so
I look at that as the same thing as people saying it's ridiculous that like Idris Elba would play something like 007.
Right, which would
be
let
him play that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Doesn't matter if he's black. It doesn't matter if she's white. Like, I don't know what the term whitewashing, but like, I mean, I know the term whitewashing, but I'm saying, like, at this point, it's already happened, so let's just judge the movie on its merit.
On that, what did you think of Ghost in the Shell, like, as a whole?
I did. I think the biggest problem that movies like this have is, well, two problems, is that, one, they're anime, so it's like, they're going to pull from their audience. It's going to be big overseas, but how do they make money in America? And two, I think another problem is stuff like this, with all we've seen in our whole career, our whole life, it seems a little bit derivative, but then you have to realize that this stuff came before, like, influenced, like, stuff like Dark City and The Matrix. And
I got a really big Matrix vibe.
Yeah, and
from
so
this,
like, you got to understand, like, this stuff came before that, and it actually influenced those things that it's kind of.
It's like that John Carter deal.
Yeah, so I feel like that's a big problem, like movies like this have, of seeming derivative, but when actually they're the ones that influence those.
Yeah, because
those
that was
original
kind of
properties.
That was kind of my issue with the whole thing, like. The premise was engaging enough, but I definitely felt like I'd seen this before. Yeah. What really kind of made this stand apart for me was just the visual scope of it. Like, it really felt, they really used the environment here. Like, it was a cool environment. There were some cool like gadgets and techniques that they would use to, like, communicate with one another or transport or things like that. And I thought they used that really effectively. And they the action scenes, I thought, especially earlier on in the movie, that got a little kind of tired.
I thought, and that's what I thought going in. I said, this is going to be something almost like Assassin's Creed, where it's going to have to cram all this stuff in here that the fan base knows, but that regular wider audience is not going to know. And so But I thought it was going to be action set piece to action, linked to action set piece, linked to action set piece.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel like that. Like I
No.
felt like there was a lot in between, with like almost like with character development of like the sensitive side of something like that.
I was gonna say
And-
there was actually some emotional
Yeah.
heft, which I didn't expect from smaller characters, like
Right.
especially one that Michael Pitt plays.
Yeah.
You know, at first he's kind of set up as this standard villain, but we
Right.
learn a lot more about him,
Yeah.
and there were layers to the story that it
And-
kind of maybe took a little too long to get there.
Right, yeah.
But
I'll agree with that. Yeah.
But once it did get rolling, 'cause it does this weird thing where it gets going and there's this momentum, and then it'll
Yeah.
stop itself dead,
Yeah.
and like for a scene, and then it's got to pick back up this momentum,
Yeah.
which I was like, you were getting so good there, and then it kind of stops. But no, overall, like I enjoyed the look of it. The director is Rupert Sanders. He did Snow White and the Huntsman, which again visually was great. The story
Right.
was kind of lacking, and he kind of runs into some similar issues here. But overall, I did feel like I would much rather watch this again than Snow
Oh,
White and the Huntsman. You know,
absolutely.
so it was.
And the score was
Yeah,
Yeah.
the score was really, if you've seen the trailers, you know kind of the visual style, the neon color palette and everything, and so you can tell there's a lot of synth soundtrack here as what you would expect, but it uses that.
There was one time the CGI got me, and I was like,
Yeah, I
and
know,
I
know.
slapped it. I was like, what the heck was that?
It was Matrix Reloaded type
Yeah,
stuff.
do it, do it,
Yeah,
do
it was
it.
jelly.
Like,
But no, I really enjoyed this much more than I expected to.
Absolutely.
Basically, I mean, again, I didn't have a lot of expectation going into this, so I didn't know what to expect. But yeah, no, it was a lot better.
And I did, and I was pleasantly surprised,
Awesome.
especially since the live action movies that have pulled from the anime
Haven't been.
universe have been awful.
Yeah.
This is like a nice, refreshing. Okay, this isn't going to be 5 stars, but gosh darn it, I was pleasantly surprised.
So, what would you give it star rating?
I want to go 4, but like I said lately, I've been thinking of what I've given 4s, so
Yeah.
I'll probably just give it a 3.5. But I enjoyed it a lot. I would say go see it.
Yeah.
If you're a fan of sci-fi, action, any of this stuff, because it does deal with like where does a soul come from? Like what does it take to be human? What does it mean to be human?
Yeah.
I feel like they didn't dive in that as much. I feel like
No,
they could
and
have been a
that's-
different movie
Yeah.
or a sequel, but like it does touch on those a little bit, and it's not just action piece to action piece like I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, no, I'm right below you. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 3. I thought, yeah, some of the ideas were really interesting, but it didn't dive deep enough into those to
Yeah.
really be like fascinating.
Yeah.
And then,
But
if
there's
it's
not a lot wrong with
no,
it.
no, no,
Yeah,
no.
that's
But
what-
if
I
it's
know
not
this
going
is
to be,
crazy.
if it wasn't as intriguing as I was hoping it would be, then I was hoping it might be a little more fun to watch. But this is kind of a dour movie overall, you know.
Yeah.
And so no, but it's certainly worth seeing on the big screen for the visual scope of it alone
And the score.
Yeah, and so
I keep saying that, but
it's
it was
certain
awesome.
No, it's definitely enjoyable. Worth seeing on the big screen for sure. And anything else?
That's it.
All right. Well, thanks for checking out our review. Be sure to subscribe to Initial Reaction Reviews. You can read my written reviews at reviewsfrombed.com if you would like. But thanks. We'll see you next week. Have a good one.